Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the
Hello.
Cantrell Travelway's Traveling Adventures, where
Mhm.
we travel all over the place,
Yes.
and you never know where we'll end up from week to week.
Nope.
And for you guys that have started watching this show, which started a couple of weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
last week no, well, it's probably been a couple of weeks since we did it. We started with Fort Lauderdale. And obviously, for you guys that have been watching, you know that our good friend Mama D, our good friend Debbie Bernfeld is here. And
Yes.
she, like me, is a Floridian resident.
Yes.
So, and we know all the good places to travel. But welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll get some other people to come in tonight.
Yep.
I do want to, and I don't know how much he wants. All I am going to say, and I'm not going to say much details, is just
Right.
keep Richard in prayer.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a little bit, he is under the weather. I don't know who all knows. All I'm asking is prayer from the community. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, he was definitely running some.
Oh yeah.
Right, he was not feeling good tonight, so he's not
Yeah.
going to be able to join us today. So,
Yeah.
so with that, prayers from us to you, Richard, in case you get to
Yes.
watch, or if you're just happen to ninja watching, or if you catch the replay.
Mm-hmm.
So prayers from all of us. So
Right.
we will miss you.
Yep.
For tonight,
Yep.
and obviously we'll have some fun, but we're going to do some travel. First of all, let me welcome in. Of course, obviously, I do have my co-host,
Yep.
Mike,
Hi guys.
and then of course we got our good friend from the south of Florida. Welcome in, Debbie Bernfeld.
Yes. It's good to see you.
Always good to see her. See, she's always smiling.
You.
She hasn't had, and I will tell you, she hasn't even had the moonshine yet up in August. So I'm waiting to hear some more details on those stories coming. It's a shame that I can't get up there this year, and I don't know if honestly I was hoping for next year, but it depends on where my business is standing at this point. Because my goal for next year is to go to Hawaii with the sisters. So
Good.
Have a wonderful trip.
Yeah.
I'm looking for. I would love that. Like I told them, I said if I don't come back, just look for all the hula girls. I'll be in the middle of them.
Oh Lord. Dave, you can see them on It's a Small World.
Nope, those aren't the real kind. There's a big difference in watching some mechanical thing that wiggles compared to watching the real thing wiggle.
Lord.
Wiggle.
The real thing tends to make my blood pressure go.
Oh Lord.
Bing, 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 bing.
Oh Lord.
Oh my goodness.
See, you never know what you're going to get on these shows. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we want to keep them, but but to bring this back down to a perspective, this is kind of what me and Richard and Mike were talking about on Tuesday about just what is a vacation. Different vacations are everywhere. You got vacations that are relaxing.
Yep.
You got vacations that are thrill vacations.
Oh yeah.
You got some that want to be extreme vacation. Maybe snowboarding or skiing down the winter slopes or climbing up some mountain. Or going to it may be going to like American Six Flags or SeaWorld with thrill roller coasters.
Yep.
Or it may be between. Maybe you're wanting food and entertainment and some thrill ride.
Right.
Ish, you got all of our favorite thing that brings the whole Disney community together.
Mhm.
Walt Disney World,
Right.
and Disneyland, and all its parks.
Right.
Tonight this show is about traveling from place to place. And it's, I mean, for a while we're going to be focusing on U.S. cities, but eventually we will hit like Puerto Rico, and we'll talk about places in Greece and other places like that.
Right.
But, I kind of want to shine on areas that people that used to be big population destinations.
Mhm.
But I think they've kind of forgotten about some of things. So I mean, like over the next few weeks, tonight we're going to finish up Fort Lauderdale, but to kind of give you guys a schedule of where I'm going. I mean, I want to look at Palm Springs. I mean, we forget about how beautiful Palm Springs is.
That's a good location.
Places over in California.
Absolutely.
So, that state is full of, I don't know what that state's full of, but it's full of something. That's all I can say.
Yep.
But I mean, so you can see where I want to go. I mean, there's like Houston. Houston is growing so big. There's so much to do in Houston, Texas. That's why I'm kind of covering the U.S. cities. Kind of bring back some light on, we got places in the U.S. that we can talk about.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, like on the Vacation Oasis, we will look at the cruise lines and things like that. I mean, I don't want to take it all away from the cruise lines because obviously I want to go on my first Disney cruise line. I want to be. You better not be lying to us. Send them a
I hope
link.
so, Richard. I hope you are better.
Wait a minute.
Let him try. If he's up to it.
Sure.
Can you send him the link, Mike?
Sure. Hold on a second. I will send it. Don't worry. I'll send it. Just a second.
Let's just say, guys, he was running. I won't say too much, but I know he was running a temperature.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping he's feeling better. And if he's not, he better get his tail back to bed and relax.
That's the thing now.
Yeah, that's
and that we got someone on here that will chew you out.
I'm not naming names.
Yep.
Because I've already got 2 people threatened to kidnap me in December if I don't come down there.
That's right.
I won't mention this Debbie's name because
Right.
already trying to kidnap me.
All right, it's sent.
Okay. So if he's feeling better, that's fine. But if he needs to relax, seriously. So, anyways, where was I with that before? And I hope he does feel better. And I hope
we were talking about the U.S. cities.
The U.S. city and Houston, Texas.
If you think about all the cities, there's a lot of cities that have a lot of good places to visit.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
you really think about it.
And I just think people forget how much. I mean, let's face the fact. There's a lot of cities. Welcome in, Richard. How are you feeling? Seriously, buddy. I mean, has it come down a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Good. That's good.
Have you been to the doctors, buddy? Because that temperature is extremely high.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
pretty
dangerous.
high, but I always run a high temperature when I get sick. It spikes.
Yeah, I get that also.
Okay. Well,
got today all the way up to 106.
That's dangerous, Richard.
that is how that's
And
now
now-
Vesuvius temp, bud.
And now I'm at about 94.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You went up to 100 and now you dropped. Is there a reason?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big difference. A big drop.
Like I said,
That's
I
a
get
big
spikes.
difference.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you need to get to the doctor,
Well,
please go to the doctor.
you should see me when I ever do
That
get
is a big
like a
drop
fever
going
or a
that
cold.
high
It's
to that
like
low.
1 hour I'm feeling like I got run over by a truck.
Yeah.
The next hour I'm feeling like I could run a 1,000-mile marathon. So
Wow.
spikes.
Do
Yeah.
us a favor. Make sure you get some rest, okay?
Yeah, I
Rest?
will.
Oh,
Just get some rest and don't.
fluids.
Lots of fluid.
Yeah,
I got water. Yeah.
Don't forget to do the cold busters.
Fluids. Get
Don't
rest.
forget to do the cold busters because they work. Believe me.
Yeah.
And
I putting antioxidants in my body. That'll work
Okay,
too.
good.
Yeah.
that's good. Because I tell you what, you won't get it from me or Mike. We got somebody in the right bottom hand corner of my screen that
I'm not saying
will
work.
get on you if you don't. Trust me.
Oh boy.
Mhm.
Anyway, but we were just talking about, I mean, what we were talking about is that over the next few weeks on this show, I actually want to cover some of the cities in the U.S. because I think, I mean, there's a lot of travel that go to these cities, but I think sometimes people forget about just how much there are a lot to do and I mentioned like Palm Springs, a lot of cities in California. You got Houston. There's a lot that are cultural enriched places that are cultural enriched things. So, and I just am going to try to bring that up, as well.
Really,
Let me welcome in
majority
Mary
of the-
Carol.
Yeah,
Welcome
really.
in
the
Mary Carol.
majority of the
Hello to
largest
Adam,
cities-
Reba, and Blake as well. I hope you guys are all fine tonight.
Yeah, really, the majority of the largest cities all have their own culture, their own
Yeah.
things that's.
Well, I know a couple of cities you want to avoid.
Well-
I will tell you, Jacksonville is one of them. You don't want to go
Yeah.
into Jacksonville.
Just don't do
Oh,
Jack.
no. It's gotten worse since I've moved down here. Trust me.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to Jacksonville, Florida.
Minneapolis.
I know.
There's not that much there.
You
I'm
totally avoid. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, because it used to be an okay city and there used to be things to do,
Yeah.
but it over the last several years, it actually is. I mean, Detroit, I'd rather tell you to go visit Detroit because there's so much to do. And even Belle Island in Detroit is making a revival of nice to visit.
Well, Dave, I know one city that would make Mike and me both happy to talk about. So,
Yes.
New York.
New York City.
The
I
big
knew that was
city,
coming.
big
I knew
apple.
that was
Oh, yeah.
coming.
I will even go live.
Dave,
I should
there
have
has to
muted
be
them
something
both.
to talk about for that.
Yes, New York.
We could talk about the museums.
We
Think
can talk
how
about
many
the
there is
museums,
over
we can
there.
talk about Broadway.
I will tell you, I will give you that because it does have it's got the
I
Broadway
will
shows,
say
it's all
this.
got-
Museums.
I will say this about New York. There is a lot of history. Some
And Dave,
good, some bad.
if you ever do try to do Palm Springs, I'll gladly jump on because I've been there like 7 times.
I am. I'm
I've never
actually
been.
working.
Yes,
I'm
that's a
working
big
on,
one.
I'm
I
actually
want to go
working
there
on
anyway.
I'm working on my specialist badge for Palm Springs. So
Okay, so Palm
that might
Springs is
be
a good one.
that'll be down in a few weeks. I'll give you a heads up when I get there.
Okay.
Richard.
Yeah,
I want to
I'll
finish
definitely
I
join
want to
you.
finish doing
New
the
York.
training.
New
New
York.
York,
Yes.
Seattle,
Yes. Philadelphia.
Austin, Texas. Huge.
Williamsburg, Virginia, believe it or not. If you
Austin,
really
Texas would be a
I'm gonna
good one
tell
for
you
me
one that I
too.
want to
Yeah.
go to.
Williamsburg.
Williamsburg, Virginia,
I've
just
done
because of the history. I actually,
Virginia.
honestly, I want to
Forge.
talk about 1 week. I'm going to talk about St. Augustine. I'm going to
St.
talk about the
Augustine,
city of
Pigeon
St. Augustine.
Forge.
The
Yeah.
oldest city
Valley
in
Forge,
the
I can
US.
talk about it.
Also, Naples, Florida, too. Is
Naples,
also-
Florida, the Keys. So
Pensacola.
the bottom of the Keys.
Miami.
Down that way, further down, way down there.
Pensacola. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you Pensacola because honestly, some of the
Pensacola,
best beaches
yeah.
in Florida is Pensacola.
Yeah.
What about the Miami?
Miami could work.
That's huge.
I've been there a few times, but it's just
Yeah.
right next door to where we're talking about. So
Yeah, we're talking Florida. I mean, so yeah, it really is.
And of course, Orlando.
Well, and
Orlando's
here's
right
the
there.
thing. And speaking of which, and we talked about this before, Richard, and I don't know if this is what you were trying to say. It is part of what they call the Miami-Dade County area.
Yes.
That's it.
Yet Fort Lauderdale is its own city. It's just
Yes, it is. It's very
Miami-Dade
confusing
County.
on that. Yeah.
Huh?
Some things are shared, some things are not. So
Right. But yet Fort Lauderdale but here's the thing. Fort Lauderdale is its own city.
Right.
yes.
Yes,
It is its own city.
Well,
That was their
Seattle
one.
has that for some cities too. So
Well, every city has it.
Every
Even
city
Fort
has it.
Lauderdale, you think about it, Fort Lauderdale has its small pockets of inner small suburban things. That's what makes the bigger cities.
Right.
You
Like
think
I'm
about
part Fort Lauderdale,
Detroit,
but I'm really a suburb
tell
of
you
Fort
this,
Lauderdale.
Detroit's it's got Southfield, all of its areas in the north area, Monroe, things like that, which make up the whole greater Detroit area.
Dave, we could talk about Port Canaveral.
Detroit itself is just a small city.
We could actually talk about them in the Cape Canaveral.
In fact,
We could talk about Cape Canaveral or Port Canaveral.
Yep.
So there's plenty of towns we can talk about. So we got plenty of cities to deal. But and like I said, eventually I want to get to towns in like Greece. Italy,
Yeah, we can go. We could start doing out of country.
and in
we
fact,
could do Bahamas.
we might actually start making a schedule. I might sit with you guys over this weekend and make a schedule for the next year for this show alone.
Yeah.
And of course, Debbie's always welcome to come join us on this show.
Yeah.
It's always great to have her.
Absolutely. I think, when I think of Florida, there's only one thing that comes to mind, and it's Disney World. Because for me, when I go to Florida, I just go to the parks. And
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
true.
been outside of the bubble.
But I have before a few times because my official family doesn't really like to do Disney all the time. Oh, blasphemy. Darn.
No, it's good to see you.
But that means that I've been to Florida places like Key West.
I've never been.
Very, very cute town.
Right.
The bottom corner of Florida. That's the farthest you can go, basically.
Here's the thing I'm going to tell you. We are going to look at Orlando.
Orlando.
Most people, they know about the parks.
Yes.
But there's a lot more influence and a lot more cultural in Orlando than most people would think about.
Tampa Bay, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We'll be looking at Tampa.
One.
Clearwater.
Big one, yeah.
Because I think I've already, I think one of the first few weeks I've already done Clearwater, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I may not have. I'll have to go back and check. I'll have to go check all the. I have to go check on that. But welcome in, Paul Ingo. Good to see you. So anyway, let me ask you guys.
Yeah.
I know Debbie's been to Fort Lauderdale. I've been to Fort Lauderdale once and stayed in it. It is really beautiful. I mean, I haven't really got to explore it. I mean, that was pretty much where we stayed, and then we took and drove 8 hours down to Key West. Like Richard says, it's the furthest part, and I got to see the little bell. I got to see the bell where it was 60 miles from.
I think I passed right through Fort Lauderdale because I had to go. I was staying in Miami at one time, the big city or the city.
So you've been at least you've seen parts of Fort Lauderdale.
I might have, yes.
I've seen some of it.
Have you ever been to
part of it?
Let me ask you this, and here's my thing. Fort Lauderdale, because I have seen some of the ports that in and out. It's pretty much like Miami.
There.
It's got its inner waterways.
Yes.
Like a lot of the cities up along outside of Jacksonville, most of your things, St. Augustine, it has its inlets.
Yes.
Fort Lauderdale, Naples, they all have their water inlets. Miami has
saltwater inlets. Those are not fresh water, so they will not have lower chance of alligators or crocodiles also.
No. That is actually, it's fresh water.
It's fresh water. Yes. It's not.
It's coming off of the ocean. It's coming off of the Atlantic.
Yeah, salt water. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'd have to get into the swampy areas to see that if you want to see that.
Yes.
And I think that would make a good show.
Oh,
Mike,
gosh.
in visiting
Wait,
Fort
hey, Dave,
Lauderdale,
It
wrestling
wouldn't
in
be that
Alabama.
bad. You just start talking about Gatorland.
I
You're
was
good.
there once, and the really interesting thing with that for me was that it was very, very different because, believe it or not, that was the first time that I was that I was literally not in Disney World,
Yeah.
and it was weird for me because I'm like,
Well,
because
I'm used to it. We stay at different places. We don't go to Disney.
The weather was like really, really nice and warm, and I'm like, good. I love warm weather. I love it.
Yeah.
But I will say this though, you can tell. I mean, for me, because I was there for like a week, and I actually kind of liked it, believe it or not. But for me, not being at Disney was weird for me because I was like, okay, how long does it take me to get to Disney from there?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that long.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
It's one of the longest states the U.S. has. Yes, it is.
yeah.
I'm not saying
Florida
the
is
longest.
actually
It
the
is one of the
longest.
longest.
From the top of Florida down to the Keys, it's probably lengthwise. It's probably one of the longest states.
Really?
I think
One
it's
of the
not
longest.
only
It's
because
not-
of
I don't
Alaska.
think it's-
What
it's
about
not the
this
longest.
part?
I
It's
think
not the
it's
longest.
not
It's
only
one of the
because of
longest.
Alaska, if I remember
The only
correctly.
thing I know is
Right.
this part.
It's that way too.
I don't know what it's called. It's the whatever it is. But you know what I mean? It's the down part, not the across part.
Right. It's the
Oh.
length of it that makes
Yeah,
it one.
that.
It's just one of the It's just one of the longest states. It's not the
Yeah.
longest. It's
Right.
just one.
It is. I know it's up there as one of the
but
longest, but I just don't know.
Now
Think it is.
let's bring in our special Southern Florida
Sure.
guest and get her opinion on because
Sure.
she lives
that's
pretty
it.
close to Fort Lauderdale. I know that, and she's been there probably several times. I would think. What honestly, what is your total opinion on Fort Lauderdale?
Fort Lauderdale has so much to offer, especially like downtown Fort Lauderdale, where they have a lot of arts and craft. They have a lot of festivals, they have music, and all the entertainment that you want, all the restaurants that you want.
Nice.
Along the beach, not even on the beach. I mean, so it depends on where you want. It's like it really has everything for everybody.
Mm.
It has the museums, it has the culture, it has the restaurants, it has the entertainment, whether it's in the bars, where it's in concert halls. There's it has everything for everybody.
Yep.
So that's what I really like about Fort Lauderdale.
And here's what I love about it, especially if you love water.
Right.
The map I'm about to show you is actually one. Hold on.
You can see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill the virtual background.
Okay.
I didn't think about the maps.
Mm.
Anyways, so one of the things, I mean, this is what I love about, and I hate to say it, as much because of how busy and how big metropolis Miami is, there's I wouldn't go there all the time because I grew up in a big city and I know how crazy it can get. But when you get waterways like this, and I know for a fact,
Right.
what we're showing here is a map of where the water taxis are.
Wow. Yeah, it's the glare, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to turn down one of my lights here if I possibly. That might help it. There you go.
Dave.
Oh, it's gravy. No, hold on.
It's
There
only
you go.
showing the.
There you go. There is just one of the maps.
Wow.
Of the
Yeah.
waterways.
Right.
That's
And they're-
interesting.
So I mean,
And then also look at my background if I remember correctly. I think I set it up.
so I mean, obviously, you got that.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it has so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it easy to navigate?
Yeah, well, you just go into Fort Lauderdale events, and it comes up with all kinds of events that's happening. Concerts and
Yeah.
art festivals, and I mean, I love the art festivals. I used to go to a couple of the art festivals in downtown Fort Lauderdale a few years ago when my friend was still with us, and we used to go all the time. I mean, ever since she's gone, I haven't done any of that, but yeah, Fort Lauderdale offers so much.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: if you love boating like I do, I mean, to me, yes, I love my powered vessels, but to me, as a sailor, there's nothing about and I understand you need power on a boat because you get into certain type of weather and the seas can get rough. But to me, there's nothing better than be able to raise the sails and be able to sail by wind power. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. Now, see, I've gotten to do that over on the Matanza Bay up in St. Augustine, and I actually got to help put up the sails. It was an exhilarating experience beyond belief.
Yeah.
So and it's things like that because Fort Lauderdale is one of the biggest boat shows that they have down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, they have I think the air shows that are maybe coming up soon too. Each month there's always something like big event that's happening.
Yeah.
It's never ending. It's constant.
There is always something. There's some type of festival that takes place just about every month.
Yeah. Then there's in Las Vegas, there's a food and wine festival.
Yeah.
The food and wine festival. There's
Vegas has a lot of things too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, even
we can talk about that someday too. Vegas would be a nice city.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's the thing. As far as like the activities and festivals in Fort Lauderdale, kind of outside of the water aspect of it, kind of reminds me of Houston, which I've been studying, which almost has a festival every month for all the cultural in that city. That's what reminds me of Fort Lauderdale, because Fort Lauderdale, you got so many cultural things that they've got. You've got the new wave of jazz type of music festival that goes on down there at a certain time. You've got other types of music festivals that go on throughout the year. You got the boating yacht thing that goes on down the show down there. Like Debbie said, you've got the air shows that go on sometime in the spring or summer down in there. I mean, there is something. Plus the fact that you got so many different cultural museums in different areas of the city.
Nice.
You've got science museums, you've got you got cultural museums, you've got science museums.
Yeah, they have the Discovery for the children. Downtown Fort Lauderdale, they have, in downtown where they have the Discovery, where it's for the children to touch and feel and learn about science.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Let me ask you this question, Debbie. Now, with the weather down there, does Fort Lauderdale get really bad the hurricane.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, like with that, and I mean like slammed.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean like get it like really really bad.
Oh, trust me. You could walk out the door and it'd be nice and sunny, and in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
the whole sky changes,
Wow.
and
That's amazing.
it's downright pouring rain.
Oh
Trust
my
me,
God.
driving in that weather.
Oh yeah.
Me, I don't like doing it.
Right.
I've
Now,
been
Mark, let me
driving
expand on that too. You know, you're talking about the hurricane. Here's the one thing about it. You got to remember where Miami is.
Right.
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale is right above that. So if
Right.
Miami gets slammed, Fort Lauderdale is going to get slammed.
Yeah.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's how close they are. That's why they're part of the Miami-Dade County area, particularly in the southern part of Fort Lauderdale and the northern part of Miami.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the weather, it gets drastic.
Okay.
It gets very drastic.
Okay.
With the rain.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing about being prepared to go to Florida, and you could be in the northern part of Florida, over in the Panhandle, or down in the southern Florida. 1 minute you're going to get sunshine, next minute you're going to go. And the weird thing of it is, part of it could be I could be standing in one part of my yard,
that's true,
sunshine, and then I can move to the other part of my yard, and all of a sudden it's raining or sprinkling.
Oh yeah.
Florida is one of those mixed weird rain states. I don't know if it knows what it wants to do, except for that's when it comes to the
Same
hurricane.
thing with Seattle for us. So I live in a city that's
very
close.
Crazy drivers that don't know how to drive in rain.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! You did this in Jersey. Trust me.
No,
not
The
like Florida.
Nobody except for
every city has them, but
but here's the thing about this. The one thing that no city can, any city outside of the southern parts of the states, all the way through the western southern states, here's the one thing that you get. You want to know how crazy the drivers really can get? Wait till it gives them a few dips of snow coming down, and watch how people get crazy.
Oh, let me tell you, that is hilarious. That is so hilarious because
you think it's pretty funny until you notice in
Seattle,
Seattle
you see them, how they're reacting on it.
Yeah, and every 3 or 5 years, roughly, in Seattle, we get snow. Okay.
Yeah.
So when it snows, the highways, basically, you see cars on the side of the road. They left them. They left their cars on the side of the road. And I swear, it looks like a parking lot because it's so long.
Yeah, but you don't accumulate that much, right? I mean, I'm assuming you guys wouldn't accumulate too much because...
No, we don't. Well, we might keep cold for a while, so that little bit of snow could keep for a few days.
Well, I'll tell you this. Here, with the snow, let me tell you, I have seen...
Our problem is we get a little bit of that snow, but then we get the rain right afterwards.
Right. Now, with us...
It's kind of like Michigan.
It goes. I'll be right back.
It's kind of like Michigan and the states around the Great Lakes. The problem is with that, you get snow, and then you get the rain and the ice.
The rain and the ice,
and then you get bombarded by the snow. It's
and
when
then
you get
the
rain,
regular ice. The regular ice is fine because you can see that. Regular ice you can see on the road when you're driving. Black ice, no, you can't.
Right.
No, because it's covered
there,
up by
but
snow.
you know
covered up by snow.
Yeah.
Because you know why I know? You're talking to somebody that survived a 360 in a vehicle on a bad snow day.
I have, and I was driving for Uber when that happened.
And here's the thing, I was forced to go to work on the snow bad with so snow.
Yeah.
And it snowed continuously for 24 to 48 hours, and it had ice on it because it all froze up.
Oh.
But then we got a new bunch of snow on top of that.
Yeah.
And this was it. Here's the crazy thing. I was only driving like 5 to 10 miles an hour.
Yep.
I was driving.
It doesn't matter how fast you go, you can still slide.
And even trying to correct it, still ended up going.
Trust me, trust me, I was in my last snowstorm before I moved down to Fort Lauderdale because I lived in New York. I lived on Long
Okay,
Island.
you
Okay.
guys get my mother.
You know it then
The
a little
last
bit.
snowstorm with my car that like to install out into middle of intersections.
Yeah.
And it installed out in the middle of a snowstorm
That's even
Yep.
worse.
in their intersection.
That's
And
even
I'm
worse.
trying to rush to get to work.
Yep.
And then here I have people beeping me, move. I'm like,
Well,
yeah, well,
can't
if you
really
get
move.
out, and you help me push my car, I move.
That's why. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I love my warm state of Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we get our cold day. We get our few cold days here and there, and yes, it can get chilly in the mornings because it's actually been the last few days ago. A couple of days ago, it actually got down into the low 50s,
Okay.
early 40s.
Okay.
Or upper 40s, low 50s, and
That's
it was cold.
nothing here.
And when you're riding around on a gator, you
Right.
have to bundle up. I mean,
That's
the
what's
wind
called
is all-
Spirit Jersey weather.
Well,
no, it's not a spirit jersey.
we're just.
Mother. You
He was
put
just
a
saying
coat
that they
on
don't
and
get
you
that
go
every
on.
year, at least.
Right, I know, but
I know New York and you guys, New Jersey, you get
I'm gonna
that
say
every
this.
year
Yeah,
almost.
you guys
When it
get
gets
slammed
cold
with
up here,
snow every year.
it's
At least
cold.
2 months of the year.
There's that. And
If that.
sometimes
The thing is, when Florida gets cold,
mm,
people say,
Oh,
like
it's the
60s,
funniest
no,
thing.
it's not that cold, but it's wet. It's a wet cold.
It's a wet cold, and I have gotten cold at Disney World before. It was at Animal Kingdom.
nobody told me that it was going to be cold in Disney.
Yep.
So what do I buy? Spirit jerseys.
Yep.
And
Time to
I
buy
have
a
no
spirit
idea.
jersey.
And
That's why it's called watch your forecast.
I did.
weather.
Well, Dave, guess what? The forecast was wrong.
I
Yeah,
did.
that's
It
true.
said
That's true.
no
I didn't
wind.
wait, I never
It said
it
no
would be
wind,
right.
no
I
rain.
just said you watch
Right.
it and then you hope it's right. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
you
don't trust
hope.
forecasters.
Well, that's why now I have
Unpredictable weather.
it's at Disney World on my phone for the weather. Mm-hmm.
I get a little spirited about New York area.
Oh yes, and believe me, cold here. I will say this:
It gets cold there.
it does. Believe me,
Trust
I
me.
have been there.
Anybody that-
20
The
wearing
one
a
year that I
spirit
lived there,
shorts
the
sometimes.
coldest it got was about. I think it got in the negative like once. It got negative
I
one.
think it did once.
Yeah, that was a
Now,
few.
that
That
was
was
I
last
was
year.
around-
So.
Here's the thing,
I was
and
like,
I'm
oh, wow.
surprised you don't. I don't know how bad you get it, Mike, because you're in New Jersey, so you are
Yeah.
near the water.
Yeah,
If the water lake affect cold, they'll really get you because
Where
you're in
Where he
negative
really
20
lives is
and
not
below. Which
Dave.
means if your temperature is only like in the teens or single digits,
Yep.
your temperature is going to drop to like 25 to 30 degrees below zero because of the humidity.
Dave, 2 years ago, 3-degree weather. I was in
What was
literal
what was your
t-shirt
what
and
was your
shorts.
factor?
I was fine.
What was your factor?
I was fine the whole day, and I did not get sick
Was
once.
that your regular temp or was that with the degree fact?
3
Fahrenheit.
was the actual temperature.
Okay, what was your Fahrenheit?
3 degrees Fahrenheit. That was the high. That was the high.
Well,
But with the wind chill factor, if you got a really bad
was-
wind chill
It
factor,
was minus whatever, and I didn't even feel it.
well,
not
then
at
you
all.
got lucky.
yeah.
But see, when in
Yeah.
Michigan, when you feel it, even if the temperature's like 6 to 10
I would be in a
degrees,
spirit jersey and shorts.
our wind chill
I'm
factor,
sorry, but when it's funny for me to watch people that are in Florida since I'm from Seattle.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
gotta
I
remember,
watch
I grew
people
up
from
in- I spent
Florida
30 years in Michigan.
in December time
I
trying
know.
to
Oh, yeah.
bundle up 3 to 4 layers of clothes in
Yeah.
70-degree
No,
weather.
I don't do that. I don't do
Yes,
that.
and I'm like, I would
Now,
just
here's
be in
my
this
thing.
and I'd be
It-
fine.
Hey, Richard.
As soon as it hits 50 degrees, as soon as it hits 50 degrees, people are already bundling up with
Not
heavy
me.
jackets,
I know.
gloves.
I'm like, well, okay, I'm watching these people do that. You know, I see a cast member walking to work. She's like 4 layers of cold, freezing cold, walking down the road, and I'm in
That is funny.
Swimming trunks and a tank top.
That would be me. No joke.
So I'm heading to Blizzard Beach, by the way, and I'm seeing this girl walk past me at 70 degree weather.
And that again, that goes back to how long had they lived there all their life?
Yeah.
So you're cold.
I understand that.
Listen, it's taken me used to where it's just now where the cold is starting to affect me here as I get older. But
if you want a really warm spot, if you want to try to do like a lot of people do, and when you get older, you like to go towards warmer weather during that time of year.
Yes.
Well,
but
Texas,
then your body adjusts to
Arizona.
But then your body adjusts to this weather
I have a friend who lives there.
Arizona. Yeah.
And sometimes her temperatures, I'm like, please just send the heat up this way. You know what I mean?
It's warm all the time.
I know.
Well,
I know.
Well, Texas most of the time, but Arizona all the time.
Well, Florida gets warm weather most times of the year.
Well, that's the same thing with California. But
that too.
But you got to remember, it does get as cold. When it gets down to 20 degrees here, where it may not be cold for you guys, that is pretty. When it's in the 20s and even the low 30s, that is cold. You got to remember, because of the humidity down here and the dryness, it's a total different cold.
Oh, yeah.
You got to remember, like I said, 15 years in Michigan, that's cold. So for the first 15 years I was here, that cold didn't affect me. Now I've been here long enough to where if it gets down to the 40s, I get a little bit more chillier.
Also, another interesting thing, when Seattle rain, it never really downpours.
Oh, here it does.
And in Florida, I've had a few instances it has. The so-called rain lasts about half an hour at the most.
Yes.
But it comes down so hard. I'm like, what the heck is this?
And I'm like,
one time I drove in a really bad storm down here, and I was my friend was away, and I would drive to her house in Deerfield Beach to take care of her cat. Cat, but I would go there, to make sure. So I would stay there, to feed her and feed the cat and whatever I need to do with the cat.
Right.
And I was driving to her house, and it was pouring down. Right, I don't even know how I made it to her. I could not see in front of me.
You can't see in front of me.
I don't know how I made it to her house, but God was guiding me. But I got it to her house, got into the driveway, and then I couldn't get into her house.
Oh,
the door was stuck. I couldn't.
Oh no!
And I'm like crying and screaming. I can't get in. I can't get in.
Now here's the thing that I don't like about Florida rain, and Debbie, you can either confirm or disagree.
Fall rains.
Well, no. Here's the thing about Florida rain. Depending on the time of year.
Yes.
The problem is
this was
during
in May.
the summer and spring after it rains.
Yep.
It'll cool it down, but then when that rain stops, the humidity and the heat shoots way up.
Yeah.
In the late
I've been to Disney when that happened. Yeah.
During the fall and the winter, when it rains, when it cools down, it drops, and then all of a sudden you are.
I've been at Disney World at both times, so.
So would you guys agree that would be an assumption that certain time of year that does?
Especially if the board is dark, there's no sun to warm it up. So
I know here, that when we get the downpours, it comes down hard, especially in New York.
It does.
You got to be really careful in with the New York because it will literally flood the subway station. Literally,
I've seen it.
Me too.
Well, I don't know if I really like those subway systems. It certain times of the year, either there snows in there, trying to go down the steps.
Well,
you're going to slip and slide every single step.
Yes.
So, fall, summer, fall, you're going to get rain.
Oh,
And in springtime, you get to have up above it's about 105.
Oh yes. Down
so
there,
you're looking at about 108 to 110 down below.
Let me tell you, in the summer
You
here,
there's people that have hurt themselves because of hydration because they actually tried to stay in the subway
because of it. Because
of going in the subway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're air conditioned though. Once you get inside the train.
Yeah. Most of them are.
Except that's the problem here with the Florida. It's the dehydration, especially during the summer and that because they don't take into account the heat index. Then the temperature already hits around high 90s to 100 degrees.
Yep.
And then you get that heat index. You're talking another 10 to 20 degrees above that.
Oh, and when that big heat hits, do not try to go in the subway during that time if you're really prone to smells.
I bet you. I fully agree with you. That is a fact I have.
Is that when you bring out the old pink clothes? Is that when you bring out the pink clothes and you go, okay, now I'm ready for the subway?
It's very for the subway. Now, here's the funny thing.
Some of them are worse than others.
Most of them.
And the elevators are worse.
Most of them do have fans. Well, the fans don't really do anything to it. They just moves around the hot air everywhere around.
Believe me, I have been in the subway station in the dead heat of summer.
Yeah.
It is like 90 with the upstairs, but down there with that it's like 120.
106, 107.
With the fans going, and I am still sweating.
Yep. It just moves around the hot air all over.
I mean, like everywhere.
That's why. And here's the thing. That's why when you do, I will say this: whether it's Fort Lauderdale or whatever city you're visiting in Florida, make sure you understand the time of year that you're coming.
Yeah.
Because now you got to understand this: the closer the water, you're going to get a little bit cooler temps because of the wind coming off the Atlantic.
Yes. Right.
So, but you still have to take care of the dehydration. You still have to take care of that because I mean it's a beautiful seat, but understand your weather or what it's doing.
Right. Yeah, because when it rains here, and then within like I said, it'd be beautiful, and then within 5 minutes it's pouring rain. I mean, pouring rain.
5 minutes later,
and
it's
then
gone.
5 minutes later, it's like it looked like it never rained at all.
And here's the other thing, especially when you get one of those cold fronts that's pushing the rain through, where the temperature drops, and then all of a sudden you're bundling up because it's a little cold from the rain, and all of a sudden the rain stops, clouds move out, sun comes back, and all of a sudden you're almost wanting to rip off your clothes because
you're trying to rip off your clothes because it's getting too hot for you.
Right. Here's an interesting story about that because when I went down to Disney with my family, we were in line for the Carousel of Progress. Now, mind you, it was pouring rain, and I'm like, "What do we do if the ride stops because of the rain?" Well, we come out of the ride warm as anything right after the rain, and we could actually hear the thunder with the outside. And then when we came out, it was warm and sunny, and I'm like, what happened to the rain?
Gone.
Yeah.
Fall, spring, fall.
I know it. And then
fall weather you can never predict.
I know. Now
the biggest difference between Seattle area and over there, clouds.
That's true.
We don't have the sun afterwards. We get clouds afterwards. The clouds hang around. It's not raining. It's just clouds all the time.
Oh, yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Same here. It all depends.
Yeah. We don't have moving clouds that much.
Right. Well, yesterday here, when I went out to go do an errand.
Okay, Mary Carol. If not,
I know it's sunny.
Have a great night, Mary Carol.
Yes.
Have a good night, Mary Carol.
Good night.
Yeah, and see that what's funny is the opposite during the summer where all of a sudden it's like it's hot as heck, and then all of a sudden the rain comes in out of nowhere,
Right.
Yeah.
Your temps drop, and then you're like, okay, now I got to bundle up. What happened? It's like I'm warm to cold.
I got my first notion for Disney World the first time I went there. And I was about 11, and I remember it downpoured rain, but I was looking above me. There was no clouds.
That's weird.
That it kind of weirded me out.
I don't blame
It was downpouring rain without any cloud in sight.
Wow.
I'm like,
the sun be shining and it's raining.
Yes.
The sun is shining and it's raining.
Yes.
You go outside, you go out of the store, like work,
I don't know what to think.
Like, wait a minute. Where's the cloud?
That's why I'm curious. How do you know
that here?
You go around in those different areas down there, Debbie.
Right.
That's why I'm curious as to how do you deal with it? Because you guys, as much as ours change up here in North Florida, you guys constantly change a lot more than what it does up here in the North Florida.
Well, right now I don't do much because I'm pretty much indoors most of the time. Sometimes I go out as doctors, pretty much. But it was working. It was a pain in the butt. Just to drive. You didn't know when you were driving in the morning if it was going to be pouring, or if it was going to be rainy, or what. You had no idea what the weather was going to be like. Right. Even though you would watch the news, it's going to be sunny or it's going to be rainy, and then it's like you just never know. You just have to deal with it. You have to learn how to go with the flow, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's how you deal with it. During the pandemic and when we had to work from home, I was elated because I didn't have to worry about going to my car and going anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Because you didn't have to deal with driving, in the weather, That's how I deal with it. I'm not much of a driver anyway. So, if we need to drive in the highways, I never do that. But just the regular street driving, it's hard, especially when you go to certain streets that it's not leveled and there's rain pockets, and you have your tire. Yeah, I mean that's what happened. My tires would hit some of the rain pockets, and then you're sliding, and that's how there's so many accidents on the road. Is because they go into these rain pockets, and your car is all of a sudden sliding all over the place because their wheels are all wet.
Yep.
And then you have people that don't pay attention to what they're doing, and then they're just driving and not paying attention to what your car is doing.
Yeah, I believe it's probably just like me for that part where I know it's salt water a lot of times that affects a lot of our how our car works. We get more salt water than anything else, so when it rains, it's not really like rain water; it's salt water. Right. And so it deteriorates the tires. So we've had instances where in our area where someone was driving down the road, they didn't notice that it was starting to deteriorate their wheels, and the wheel fell off while they were driving.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah. No comment.
It can get dangerous. I think every city probably has, depending on the weather, but most cities, you just have to be really careful out there.
Which
don't get me wrong. Our biggest disaster around here is mudslides and rain and flooding.
Yeah, flooding. We got a lot. We got a lot of the flooding.
Yeah, we got mudslides. We have big hills. That our road is right on the bottom side of the big hill. The mudslides go over the road most of the time. So guess what? 2 to 3 weeks, if there's a mudslide, 2 to 3 weeks after that road is closed. They do not allow any people through. Right. So if it's a one-way where I live, one way in, one way out.
Yeah.
That means there's another 30 minutes drive just to try to get into town because I have to go around it, up, over, and down.
Because I will say for here, it's usually either the floods and blizzards. Normally,
it's New York, so you guys get hurricanes sometimes.
On what it is now. we have had hurricanes before in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Now, and believe it or not, with that, and it was mostly rain, but I can still remember the week that we had, with that, no joke, we had the earthquake in the middle of the week. And then that weekend, we had a hurricane.
Oh, wow.
In the same exact week. And some of my family members, they were down the shore. And we were literally in contact with them the entire time because, we were like, oh my goodness, are they all right? Yes, they were fine, but it's like in my mind, I was like, okay, well, earthquake equals the tsunami. With the tsunami,
yeah,
literally, and I'm like, they're down the shore, and I'm calling my mom. I'm like, how do we get a hold of them? Because they're down there, we're up here. So it's like, and then they did call us, and then the next thing we knew, there was a hurricane, and we're like, well, how are they going to get out of the shore and everything? Because now with the New Jersey shore, when there is a hurricane, everybody leaves. Everybody goes. Usually, there is usually about 3 routes that you can take to get away from the away from the shore, and that they literally had to come back early.
Yeah.
So now, with the Debbie down there, when the hurricanes hit, how long do they have to get out?
It depends on the area that they're in.
Okay.
Yeah.
It depends on where the hurricane is going to go through, or where it says it's going to go through. Especially people in the trailer parks, and they usually, if they know that the hurricane's going through that area, they have to get out. As soon as you have the warning and your watch, they need to get out.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when it's going to hit.
Right.
Yeah.
But they close down roads, they close down the stores, and that's why everybody goes crazy, goes to the stores and getting the bottles of water, bottles of whatever. When we went through my last hurricane here, it was really, really bad.
Oh,
it was just, when I was the worst one was like hurricane, a couple of bad ones. Hurricane Wilma was the first one that was like really bad. That was the worst one in Fort Lauderdale, like in 50 years.
And then Andrew hit in 90.
Andrew hit was like in the 80s. I wasn't really in the early 80s. I don't think I was here. Oh, yes, I was here. Yeah, I was here. But I didn't affect me. Well, actually, it did affect me. My apartment on the 2nd or 5th floor, whatever, it was flooded. So it did affect me.
Oh my God.
But with Hurricane Wilma, when it was the worst one in 50 years, it took me a 20-minute drive to get to work. It took me over 2 hours to get home, to get to and from work. Because the roads, because all the light fixtures were down. Everything was down.
Oh, wow. Yep.
And I had no electricity for 2-3 weeks. So it was, some people were worse than that. So it was bad. So it depends on the hurricane.
Okay.
And that's why everybody now, as soon as the hurricane, because they don't want that to happen again, like in Wilma, and I think it was 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
Now everybody starts boarding up all their windows.
Yeah.
My neighbors.
That's what they do with the sports
windows, because I can't do it by myself. So they bought up the windows and stuff like that, and everything is closed down.
Yeah.
All the work, everything, they send employees home early to go get what they need to get.
Right.
And then sometimes the hurricane is nothing.
Right.
Yet everything is closed down because they keep saying that it's going to be a big storm, and it ends up being nothing.
Now, I have heard a lot of people leave to go to Disney World
Because
Yeah.
it depends on where it's coming
Where?
from. It depends
Yeah.
on where it's going to hit. It's going to be the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. People
Mhm.
run. Like
Yeah.
my friend and I, we were almost went to Disney when they thought the storm was going to be really bad, and it ended up being absolutely nothing. It
Right,
didn't
right.
even hit us. But
Mhm.
we got into the car and we drove anyway because we didn't know how bad it was going to
Absolutely.
be. But then
Yeah.
you don't know because it
Right.
changes, like turns like within 5 minutes. It
Right.
turns and then it's nothing. Or the turns and it gets really bad when they said it's going to be nothing.
Mhm.
Wilma, they said it was going to be a nothing.
Right.
And then it ended up being where
It was bad. I remember watching
where
it.
roads and stores weren't open for weeks because
Yeah.
everything was closed down. Everything was,
Yeah.
it was damaged.
It was pretty
So
bad.
you just don't know with hurricanes because within 5 minutes it changes.
Right.
Yep.
Now, Dave, with you being more north.
We are inland. Here's my thing with my situation. I'm so far inland.
Okay.
Most of our worries are areas of flooding,
Right.
tornadoes, high
Yes.
wind damage. Now,
Yes. We do get the
and
wind.
it goes back
We
to
did
what
have a
Debbie said,
hurricane.
because that last
Was
tropical
that 2 years
storm we
ago,
had,
or was that last year?
It was
last year that
last
was
year.
storm
It was on the other
that
side.
crossed right our area, but
Yeah.
it kept getting pushed further east.
I remember
pushed further
because
east,
Yep. That's
and
one
it
of the first
got-
times they officially
and
closed
it
down
cut
Disney
across
World.
just a little.
Yeah.
We got the winds in that,
Right.
but it hit
Because
south
of
and it
hurricane.
hit more
Yeah.
parts of Jacksonville. It went across just south of Lake.
I remember.
Yeah.
Because I remember being on the stream with you, and I'm like,
Yep.
well, with the who's okay, who's not,
Yep.
because
We keep the community
Florida.
talking.
So it's like, who's
Yeah, that was
fine?
actually the closest one that I had to die. That's the closest bullet I've
Yeah.
ever dodged.
Yeah, that's the one that went across the state. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then
Really, for that one, I guess the bad part for people that lived in Miami was that,
oh yeah,
because that's where it hit the
one
most.
well, Clearwater got hit
Outside
too.
at first,
Yeah.
and it went inwards.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Now, there was a couple that had gone through. One that it went into the upper part of Florida across and hit more south of. It hit more like Gainesville and across that area.
Was that the year
And then
Jesse was
and
there?
then it turned east and went northeast and hit Jacksonville.
Wait a
Yep.
minute, wait a
Yep.
minute.
That's
That's
when
when
and
there
it
was
avoided
a hurricane there. Oh, and she was like, "I'm never allowed in the state of Florida again." I
Yeah.
really remember her saying
Oh yeah,
that,
that
and
was,
I'm like,
that was the one, Jesse. That was the
Yep.
one that was coming through, and Jesse was supposed to come down, and she got turned around and said, "Nope, hurricane
Nope.
coming through." Because that was the one that
Right.
that was actually the one that was supposed to come over me.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
it just went south. It kept pushed further south.
"Oh, she was
So
mad about that
it
too."
went
I remember
between
that.
more Gainesville, somewhere in
Mhm.
that, and then went over across out into the Atlantic. Because even Jacksonville kind of missed the bullet because it did. Now the beaches got eroded.
Right.
There was a lot of flooding on the east coast of Jacksonville, but it went up.
Yeah.
But then
Yep.
poor South Carolina, North Carolina got
Yep.
bombarded
It
from
went
that
all
little.
the way up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because I know for
Well,
us,
I don't know what it did up in the upper east. I don't know if it
Yeah.
hit you guys or not, Mike.
'cause I think all we got was rain, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
what-
think you guys were far enough away.
From here down there, and I'm like,
Yeah, I think it eroded. I think it was eroding by the time it got to you.
Yeah, it got eroded by South Carolina about.
Yeah.
Once it went over to South and North Carolina, it went back out to the Atlantic, and it pretty much eroded to a
Yeah.
tropical
Yeah.
storm and that.
I know
Here's the
Charlotte
thing
got
about
hit a little bit, but it was by that time it was already like either a category 1 or even less.
yeah,
So it was like nothing, you know.
Which brings up a good point. We were talking about transportation and all this and the weather.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
especially when you're visiting down during the summer months. If
Yeah.
you're visiting Fort Lauderdale, make sure you know the roads. Make sure you know what transportations there are, and definitely keep an eye on your weather, particularly because, those areas tend to get hit with most. Here's the problem with Florida. It either hits Key West all the way up to Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
Some, the central part of it,
Yeah.
hit or miss depending on where it lands,
Mhm.
or it hits over in the Panhandle by Pensacola
Yes.
over and.
Oh, believe me, I've seen them
You
there.
have to be aware of what's going on, particularly.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier, Mike, and I know Debbie mentioned it. You're talking about June 1st through November 30th is our hurricane season, with August and September being the worst of when the storm really.
Yeah.
So when you're down there, that's when you have to be aware of it. And you're talking about crazy drivers. That's why sometimes and a lot of us talked about using Uber, and if you're at Disney World, using the mini bus drivers. There's so much different transportation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to think about using those when you're traveling around there because it's it'll be a lot easier to get to like the art museums and the different areas or the nightclubs because there's a whole area down there that has the different music vendor in one area. But yeah, you have to be aware of the weather. That's a constant threat here, particularly June through November.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, with that, in terms of roads down there, is I-4 as bad as everybody says it is?
What do you mean by bad? It is.
I mean, like is it like the bumper to bumper on the I-4? As everybody says,
when you get near the cities, I will tell you it gets to be pretty heavy when you're going through. Like if you're going from going between Orlando to Daytona.
Yeah.
When you're going, because the main part of this downtown area is over on the east part of the turnpike of Florida. Okay.
So that's by 95.
That area is bumper to bumper. And of course, it's bumper to bumper on the west side of the turnpike because of Universal, SeaWorld, International Drive, Disney World. So you got to bumper. So the biggest part of I-4, it's the between. If you're coming from Tampa towards Disney World, you're okay. It's when you start getting closer to Disney World till you get to the east side of Orlando, then it starts letting up again. But that city, that is bumper to bumper. And then you're usually okay until you get into either like Tampa, St. Pete, or Daytona and that, and then you start picking up traffic. Because then you got I-75 that goes all the way down across there.
What about 95?
And then you got I-95 that follows all the way down.
I know I-95 very well. So, and up here, you hit DC traffic, and it's crazy on 95.
I'm glad I didn't have a car when I lived in New York.
Yes,
believe
me. Trying to get out of New York.
I just want to know one question. How hard is it to, you got all those yellow bugs that are driving around. How hard is it to flag one of them down? Because all you see is taxi cabs in New York.
Good luck.
It's not the taxi that I work with. I never used the yellow taxi. I used it once just to get the experience. But
that was fun enough for me.
Yes, that's fun enough. I was mostly the bus.
I have literally seen cabs zip through red lights, and I mean floor it through red lights.
If they're late for someone, they will. So,
believe me, they will beep like you wouldn't believe and say everywhere.
What's even
outside the window.
What's even funnier is the Grubhub people that are on the bikes in New York.
The bikes are worse than the taxis because
they're worse. They don't stop for red lights. They
hit by a bike. And believe me, with the Richard, you know this. 42nd Street.
Yeah.
New York is a gridlock.
Yeah.
And you were on the bus with me through a gridlock on 42nd Street.
Yeah, it was a nice traffic right then.
You're telling me? Oh my God! Let me tell you, even
It
the
was
buses
medium traffic. We've seen worse than that. So.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I will tell you
I've
this.
seen gridlock from the 34th Street all the way up to 42nd.
Oh, you should.
And that's on 8th Avenue.
Okay, talking all about that.
Yeah.
Right when the sun drops. So I'm talking around 7:30 sometimes.
Yeah.
Winter time for New York.
AM or PM?
PM, obviously.
Okay.
7:30, 8 o'clock. It starts to get a little dark, and I can, from the place that I was staying at in Harlem, I could see the highway that was right along the edge. Car after car, they were all stopped all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Oh yeah,
that is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of feeling sorry for the people on that highway.
And let me ask you this question, Richard: how many horns do you hear honking every 5 seconds? I've seen it.
Too many to count.
Even the buses will beep like crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and then we have the customary every 5 minutes we have a whoop whoop. That's the police.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what they do. They just go whoop whoop.
You
welcome to the big city.
When
exactly.
Welcome to the big city.
And the ambulances. Woo!
I've heard of all of it all at once. But what's the most funniest thing, when I first moved down there the first day, I decided to leave my window open.
Okay. You heard everything in the book, haven't you?
After that, I was okay with leaving the window open because I was used to. I almost had to have it open because of how cooler it was outside, for one,
right.
And number two, I'm used to the sound now of New York. So when I moved back over here in Seattle area, I couldn't fall asleep for the first month. It was not enough sound.
Wow.
Well, I will tell you that, but see that again, those are traits of a big city. Because if you go to Fort Lauderdale or Miami, you're going to see that same traffic.
Yes.
You know, I mean, maybe not to that extent of congested because of how big the cities are, but you're going to have your times. Because there's times that, and like I said, I live 30 minutes outside of Detroit. There is times, and we have the I-75 corridor, I-94 corridor that goes across all the way to Chicago from Detroit. You know, we got I-96. They all wrap in one big area. I'm telling you, you get certain times of the day, it's like, forget that. I'm going side roads because skip this.
Now, you know what's a fun one is, what was that? Austin, Texas has a highway that encircles the city. It's fun watching that one because they make it so you can go around Austin officially, but you can also go through it. But the traffic on the outside, it's just about as bad as the one going on.
Talking about like 375 going around Atlanta, where 275 goes all the way around Atlanta. But 275, guess what? The traffic on that is just as bad now because Atlanta's gotten so
the traffic's just as bad.
It don't matter whether you're going around it or 75 through it. It's a pitiful. It's a total nightmare.
Do you think, out of all of this, do you think the Bright Line would affect something on that line?
What do you mean?
If people are going to, like, for example, from one city to another, because they work in one city, they live in another city, and they could use the Bright Line instead of Bright.
It might. It might cut it down. Well, it might, but depending on the way Atlanta is built, I don't think it would. Like Fort Lauderdale on that, the Bright Line, that obviously is affected more traveling because it's more, because of the way it is. Atlanta, but because of the way Atlanta is so spread out and the congestion of where the downtown is, where the Olympic Stadium used to be when they had the Olympics in '96, and where you got the new Brave Stadium is at. I don't think there's no way Brightline could affect it. You'd be still.
There's some cities that will. There's some cities
the way it is, you'd still have the heavy traffic.
Well,
because then you got to figure some of that is travel traffic that's just going through there to get through Atlanta.
Yep.
So
because here's the thing with New York, okay? No matter in or out, it is bumper to bumper traffic, no matter what time of day it is.
You got to look at the population too. I mean, that's a lot.
Weekends are the best usually for New York.
Sundays are the best day because it's
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
Yes. But in terms of buses and stuff, it's a mess.
Yeah.
To a point. But even the subways, okay, weekends
with the buses, they have a system that works, which is basically they have everything online.
Yes, with the app. Yeah.
Well, here's the
I have to say that it's a good thing.
And kind of bringing it back to the traveling guys, this is why you need to be aware of, what transportation systems are there. And obviously Miami, Fort Lauderdale, you got cities like that have the water taxiways.
Yep.
And I didn't even realize this until I started studying it, but you got Tampa that actually have water. I didn't know Tampa had some water.
Yeah, it has a few water
taxis that go in through certain areas. And here's the other thing about it. I will say this is one advantage that I love water taxis, especially if you're trying to get from one area to another to a visit, certain things. But look at the view you get when you're on those water taxis.
Oh, yeah.
That you would not get driving up and down on the bus or driving your own vehicle on the road. You wouldn't get those kind of views.
That's most water taxis that I know of.
Would you agree, Debbie?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. The one I went on for New York, which goes to Staten Island,
right?
That view from that thing, I'm sorry, but that is a fantastic view at nighttime. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping you would say that would be the one where you were watching Mike go over to Niagara Falls in a water boat.
Oh God!
No, I believe it's one of the iconic views that they show in a lot of movies is from Staten Island, I think. Because it shows the cityscape, and you could, if it's at nighttime, all the lights are on.
That view right there, anytime you get that type of a view in any movie, that's usually the view they use. That's the
view they used.
Whether it's night or whether it's during the day, that's usually the view. That's usually the view that they use in the movie. Oh, there's Dean.
Hi, Dean.
Hello, Dean. Hope you're feeling better.
Yes. And we're sending prayers to you as well, Dean.
Yes.
Prayers.
Especially with what he's going through. I mean, Dean, we love Dean to death. Yep. We're waiting for him to open his turkey leg stores and hoping he don't eat all his supplies.
Okay.
You got to get that turkey leg store open, Dean, but just make sure you don't eat your inventory.
Maybe him and me should open up a turkey leg museum. There you go.
Exactly.
Well, but here's the problem. Are you going to be using stuffed turkey legs or are you going to use real turkey legs? Because if it's real, you might not have nothing to show.
Real turkey legs?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Real turkey legs, I would say. And then also turkey leg merchandise.
Yeah, but now the real turkey legs might come up missing. So I'm just saying you might want
I'll overstock it, put it that way.
Stephanie Keel, welcome in. Hello.
Hi, Stephanie. Good to see you.
Yes, real turkey legs. Yeah.
Yes. But but obviously there's so much to do down in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, it's so much you can't really. And I know me and Debbie, we went over a bunch of it a couple of weeks ago. That's why I kept it more back of a laid back talking about it. But one thing comes down to it, Fort Lauderdale is a good place to go visit, especially if you love the water. You've got plenty of views, plenty of museums to see, lot of fine restaurants. Every ding time I
Restaurants,
look at it, there's
shopping.
more restaurants I'm reading about.
Shopping,
Oh, God, there's so many
you're speaking my
restaurants.
language.
And
Yeah, I'm going to
a
tell
lot
you,
of shopping.
you guys may
Oh,
want to take
good.
a look at that down the road on
I'm tired
Park
of
and Mead
shopping.
about there's a bunch of
And I love
different
to shop.
sort of restaurants. That's something you guys may want to look at down the road on Park and Mead to maybe look at the different cities. I'm just suggesting. I mean,
Yeah, that's actually great. That's a great
looking
suggestion.
at different city restaurants, the
How
top
much
restaurants.
shopping
'Cause there's
is
a
there,
lot of good
Debbie,
ones.
in
There's
Fort
a lot
Lauderdale?
of
Because
top-notch
you know I love
ones
to
in Fort
shop.
Lauderdale.
I love to shop.
Oh yeah, there's so many different types of shopping.
Oh,
You've
good.
got your
It's a bigger city.
little boutique shops, and then you have, of course,
Ooh.
major stores.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have a lot of the antique shopping.
Yeah.
Antiques,
have
right up my
pretty much
alley.
everything.
I love
Yeah,
that.
you got your boutique. Here's how they classify it. You
Not
got your
boutiques.
boutique malls.
Right.
You
Yeah.
got your boutique malls, and then you got your standard higher,
Right.
like what would be Macy's and those type
Yes.
of shop
Right.
malls.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you got, and then you've got your antique shops.
Oh, I love
Like
it.
your boutique
Oh,
shops.
I
I mean,
love
you,
going to
you, you just about got every type of shopping in Fort
Shopping,
Lauderdale.
yes.
And most
Yes.
of your cities do.
Good.
But Fort Lauderdale is definitely,
Oh yeah.
because of the different areas and the culturals that are input into it, you have got a ton of shopping.
And then there's a
So
lot
you
of
would,
little
you would definitely love it.
small pocket-sized parks. Because my friend and I used to go to these, every once in a while we used to want to have like a little picnic. So we go to one of these like little pocket-sized parks, and you just go and you sit at the beach and sit at the like a bench or whatever it is, and then you can on some of the water, and you can see all the different boats, the sailboats, all the regular boats, and you see all the famous how big homes, mansions that are around the waterways, and you can just sit and eat and enjoy yourself.
Okay.
And you're away from everybody, but yet you feel like you're in an own little island.
Okay.
Because it's.
Thank you,
Well,
Dean.
I
I
probably
love that. Wait, Dave. I gotta show this to you. I love it. I love that.
Show
That
me
is-
why.
Yes. Hashtag
Tell me why.
Mike
that is
shop.
me.
Boy.
Now, with that, Debbie, can
Here's the thing, Dean, we're trying to get him an intervention on the shopping. He
Can you
keeps
see the
always going
cruise
back to this
What was that?
I said, can you see the cruise ships?
It depends on where you go. It depends on what
Yeah.
parts of you go. I mean, if you go into your small little parks, you're only seeing just like the little boats or some of the. You don't really see
I
the big
mean,
boats.
like, with the Disney Cruise Line.
Right? Yeah, you can
Disney-
depending on where you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Disney's Miami. Oh no, Disney is Fort Lauderdale, so they do have a port there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah,
sounds like fun.
because Disney
Yeah,
used
I
to
had
be
to think
down
on
in
that
the,
one.
Yeah, I think that moved several years ago when they rebuilt
Yeah.
the things. Because now the only ones I can tell you for officially, the only ones out of Miami is Royal Caribbean, Virgin,
Carnival.
Celebrity, Carnival,
Yeah.
Prince. I think there's a couple. I think there's one or two princesses that
Thank you,
come through
Dean.
there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, Debbie, how many of these are in Fort Lauderdale?
Oh, boy.
Oh God, every corner.
Every corner.
And we're closed on that subject. Thank you. Let's move on to the next topic.
I want to know.
Well, welcome to the walking, talking Starbucks ambassador.
Yes.
There you go.
Except the fact that they're closing all their stores, so you know,
There's one in every corner in New York.
that's the rumor that all the Starbucks are closing.
Richard,
Yeah.
we need to do another video for.
Yeah.
You can't even
You know
point
what
the
I'm
right
talking
way,
about.
Mike. Neither can I. So what am I talking about?
Yeah, I know. Let's see.
Yeah, well, you can't
Let's
get
do
the
it down there.
You can go like this.
You know what I mean, Richard, right?
We can. Yeah.
Okay, good. We need
Oh, there's another Starbucks.
Thank you,
person in there.
Stephanie.
I love Stephanie, but
Thank you, Stephanie. And
All right.
so we'll be getting it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, good. Wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie.
Ah,
Thank you,
no
Stephanie.
comment. No comment.
It's been a while since I've been to Starbucks.
Thank you.
I think this is a good time for a moment of a 2 and 2. We'll be right back. Moment. This is the Cantrell Country Travelway. I'm the agent and owner, David Cantrell. If you're looking to travel through the U.S. national parks or maybe to the waterways from beaches to ocean cruises, let the Cantrell Country Travelway help you find your magical vacation.
God.
All right, welcome back. If you guys are looking to travel, guys, just reach out to me. I know the fact that the links are in the description box for both my Facebook and travel page and what? What the heck are you?
My hashtag. I'm just cracking up about my hashtag.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see that hashtag. I'm not even sure what that
We
is.
need to get a Starbucks spirit jersey somehow. Definitely. Totally.
It could happen.
I know. I need to just
Okay,
check.
hold on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh. Ew.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Now.
Ugh.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yes, thank you, Debbie, for putting that in there. But
Me
yeah, so if
too.
you want to contact me, if you go to that page, guys, it'll allow you to either email me through my e-business email or my telephone. And seriously, because I do got some trips that I am planning. In fact, actually, Richard, I'm about to use my first. If everything works out, I maybe use one of my first benefits for Disney.
Nice.
I'm getting a room detail for staying at Port Orleans, I'm thinking.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
and that is actually going to be on the 6th of June.
I think it's when you're going to be there, Richard, right? Hold on.
Okay. It's close to where I'm at, I think.
Wait a minute.
I
got it. Hold on.
4th. I'll be there on the 6th, I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think.
Yep.
I think I have a park on that day.
I believe the 6th is the Thursday. So we will actually have a live. I don't know which channel I want to do it off of, but because I plan on.
Let me know. No way. That's cool, Stephanie. That's really cool.
So, Dave, on the 6th of June, I'll be in Animal Kingdom.
Cool.
Yeah, I plan on coming down there early.
Yeah,
I'm planning
I'll
on
be in
doing
Animal Kingdom, so I could talk to me and we can maybe meet up for lunch, or you can head on over to Animal Kingdom with me and we can have a time.
Nice.
Well,
Either
yeah,
way.
well, one, I've got to see what's happening with the thing. Otherwise, I plan on my big thing is to go see Bob. So I'm planning to actually stay a couple of days. So
yeah. And my Bob is on either the 5th or the 4th.
Yeah, I think you said it's whatever your parents' anniversary.
Yes,
whatever you're doing.
We're doing it on my mom and dad's anniversary, which they'll be with us. So
nice.
Yeah, well, I'll keep you posted on what's going up there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll know more by the middle of next week.
Oh my gosh!
If you figure out if you're going to a park, if you're not, then I can meet you for lunch, dinner.
Oh dear.
I could do something with you.
What do you mean you can't have donuts anymore?
Just a minute, guys. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Sure.
No problem.
Okay.
Ooh,
How come, Paul? Ooh, that's an idea. Oh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a bummer you can't have anymore.
I know some good donut places here. Mm-hmm.
But anyways, while Debbie's gone away, guys, and we start wrapping this up because we actually have been going for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yep.
And I'm trying to catch up. I don't want to miss the Lions pick, so I have to catch up on my draft here. I know you guys got. What do you guys got, Richard? First of all, what do you got on your normal channel? I know you've got your videos from Milani coming out from now until the end of this month. Anything else other than that? And then what do you guys got coming up on the Park and Eats? Because I know Mike was telling me earlier.
Yep.
So, whoever wants to cover that one.
So, what is today?
Thursday.
Today is the 25th. On the 28th, Mike and me will be having a live with Park and Eat.
Yes.
It will be talking about a certain restaurant at Alani. Yes. I have a bunch of photos. I have some videos we can look at. There's going to be things. We have menu photos for that, so we can kind of just decipher the whole menu. Talk all about that one restaurant, so that'll be kind of nice. Like you said, every day up until the end of this month, I will be having a Alani video or photo or something from that trip. And if you guys didn't notice, I forgot to do my Fantastic Tuesday on Tuesday. I did it on Wednesday, so it's still there. I just forgot and did it in a day after.
All right. So we'll go ahead and start our final thoughts, and we'll start with Miss Debbie.
Come down to Fort Lauderdale. You got plenty of places to see, plenty of things to do. You'll never be bored. There's always something. So just come enjoy.
Yep, and let Miss Debbie know, or she'll get mad at you.
Yeah, we'll meet up.
Okay.
Yes, because I've already, I'm already on the hit list for some people around here for December. So trust me. I know I couldn't do August, but I bet I will be down there in December for sure. Otherwise, I'll set some people on the warpath. What's your final thoughts from you, Richard? Fort Lauderdale, just traveling in general, and
for Fort Lauderdale, I know now that I did drive through it because I forgot. I went to Lauderdale by the sea, and then basically you have to pass through it to get to it.
Yeah.
If you're staying in Miami, yes, I was. Then we took a bus from Miami all the way down to the Key West, the bottom. great time down there. But Fort Lauderdale is a fantastic place. You know, there's a city life. Just you got to know what is happening around the city. So, yep, water taxis. Yep. Yeah. What about you, Dave?
Any final thoughts from you, Mike?
Well, but for me, yeah, I would love to go back there. Honestly, I really do. It's on my list.
And I will say that as far as my final thoughts, here's my thing. You know, when you're traveling, choose what you kind of
Do you
two
homework?
things you want to do.
Yeah.
Kind of know what you want to do, but yet be flexible because there's so much to do. Things can change in a heartbeat for whatever reason. Something may pop up. Something may not end up being open when you get down there for whatever reasons. So, I mean, you can, my thing is kind of have an itinerary, but be flexible, because the big thing about traveling is this, guys. You want to stay stress-free. You want to relax. That's what vacations are all about. It's about having fun, letting yourself go, being who you are, not, letting, whether it's going to Disney World and letting go of the adult world or just going and having fun on a cruise, traveling, just make sure you stay safe. And definitely check out. There's so much, and again, you got. I mean, whether you like nightclubs, if you like nightclubs, there's a whole area down there that have a whole bunch of different nightclubs that have gender of different types of music.
Yep.
You got so many different festivals that we mentioned earlier tonight. From from festivals to air shows to one of the biggest yachting shows in the world.
Yep. Well, in the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there you go. And that is one of them. That is one of them down there. Went to Turks and Caicos earlier this month. That is in Fort Lauderdale.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I always thought that was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or unless he means Turks and Caicos.
Turks and Caicos.
Yeah.
Are you talking about over in the islands, Stephanie? Maybe that's what she meant. It could be. Seems like there was something that was called or something close to that down there in Fort Lauderdale. But because there's some. She was talking about the Turk Islands and the Caicos. Yeah, I mean, and you just want to stay safe.
Yeah.
Travel. Get your information down. Just doesn't mean you have to plan everything.
Right.
Sometimes it's better to be flexible. Like I said, I mean, if you love to travel and all that, it's things. Yep,
Right.
Islands in the Caribbean.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some gorgeous waters down in the thing.
Yeah.
So, and then don't forget, guys, Saturday. Heaven help the Disney community because we're unleashing the new show, and I can't promise you where it's going to go, except maybe over the wall, through the river, crashing through into things. Yeah, just
Grandma's house we go.
But it's going to be out of this galactic.
I was waiting for
I
you to say
guarantee
that.
you, it will be out of this galactic solar system. I promise you that.
It will be out of this world.
Maybe a little afraid.
Yeah. It will be out of this
Especially if I
world.
can get
So
the people on that I want to, but I hadn't heard back from any of them yet. So it could be settled down unless I get the people on that I want to get on.
Yep.
If I get them on and we can get Mike and Richard here and Sheree, heaven help everybody because it will go off the wall.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'll make sure I'll be there, and I will make sure it's going to go off the wall.
Oh, totally.
Oh, there you go. There's your promise.
Now I'm really scared.
We will be
Oh,
out of
totally.
the world and into orbit.
Well, okay, put it this way.
Why?
More so, I'm going to go more so than usual.
Oh,
Off
there
the
you
wall.
go. That's why it's called the
this I
Space
know.
Mountaineer Galaxy
Maybe
Chat.
I'll have something else to do that
I love it. That's when the evil laugh comes out. Ha, ha.
Oh, yeah.
Evil Richard? Evil Richard?
Yes, Evil Richard. He will come out.
Mhm.
Evil Richard. His name is Ricardo.
Oh, my Lord.
I'll bring out Ricardo that just for that one night.
I could bring out. I could
boy.
bring out my inner Ursula.
Oh boy.
Also, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, we know how to cook. We know how to cook the octopuses. We just do that.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
No, seriously. Yeah, I'm looking to have a good time, and I'm hoping we can
Me
get these
too.
people to come on.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything. I've got to try to.
Okay.
I'll try to reach out to them again tomorrow sometime.
Hey.
All right.
But it ought to be a fun time, and then of course
Oh,
next week again. Monday, don't forget the U.S. National Parks.
Yep.
I think did we decide last week on which one we were?
I don't remember.
I thought we were doing the Smoky Mountains.
We could do Smoky Mountains.
I
We just
thought.
said it.
Well, no, because I wanted to go historic. I thought we were Gettysburg.
Oh, you were going to try to do Georgetown
Gettysburg.
or
You were gonna do. Wait a minute.
Gettysburg, I believe, is
Gettysburg.
the one.
Yeah.
I wanted
Gettysburg
to
address and all
go.
that.
I wanted to go
Okay.
again. If you run into Molly, guys, you can tell her it will be live, not pre-recorded.
Oh yeah.
It will be live.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because if we end up breaking that into two parts,
Right.
the second
Yeah.
one might be pre-recorded.
It could be. I just don't know how big that'll be.
Right.
I've never been there, so.
I've never been there either.
I've never been there either, but we're going to find out all about it.
I
Okay.
think I've been to Gettysburg. I've done that with my family.
Oh, then we got to rope. We got to
Oh,
get.
wonderful.
We got to
That
rope.
was
Our ringer.
years and years
Yeah,
and years
that one,
ago.
We got our ringer.
Also, I've been, if you want to ever do Williamsburg, Virginia.
I have.
That whole,
There you go.
I
I've been
love
Williamsburg.
Okay, now we
That'll
got
be
you for
fun.
Gettysburg.
I've
There you
done
go. We got you
Williamsburg.
for Gettysburg and Williamsburg.
Yep.
Williamsburg is really.
I used to
really
go there
neat.
all the time on vacations. to
Oh, yeah.
Williamsburg. That was
Now,
like
see,
one
I
of
can
my
tell you-
favorite places to go.
Yeah.
Now, see,
Oh,
now
yeah.
when we talk about, I actually will probably talk about the Shenandoah Valley, but I've been
Yeah.
to Appomattox Court,
Yeah.
which is absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
So, anyways, guys, well, first of all, thank you for coming in, Debbie, and helping us
You're welcome.
finish up our
Oh.
Anytime.
You're always
Anytime
welcome to come on the show.
Anytime you want me
Always
to come
welcome.
here.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you guys go check out my partner channel, Richard Blumencheese.
Mhm.
He does great on his Pentastic Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course, join him and Mike on Park and Eats.
Yes.
Yep.
I will say this. I know I heckle them to death, but
You
they
do.
do an absolute, I will tell you, you guys killed it on the review you guys did the other day.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that
You
was
guys
great.
do a great job on your food, so please,
Thank
guys,
you.
make sure you guys
Yep.
make sure you guys definitely go check out Parks and Eats. And of
Please
course,
do.
Absolutely.
make sure you guys continue to come joining here
Sure.
and be on the lookout for future changes on some things, because if things go the way I hope to within the next month, there could be
Yeah.
some good looking up in the next month.
Nice.
So
Nice.
with that, guys, I'm going to say my slogan for the company is this. If you are looking to travel, please reach out to me and let the Cantrell Country Travelway help you find your magical vacation. Have a great night, and we'll see you all Saturday on Space Mountain Dave Cantrell's channel.
Bye,
guys.
everyone. Thank you, Stephanie.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.